This time on STV, we head back to Accelerated Technologies. Then the boys from Bergstrom Skaggs visit us here in the shop, and maybe, just maybe, I get to go for my first ride on the drifter with no name. So stick around. STV is brought to you by Yamaha, revs your heart. 509, fueling your passion. And by Polaris, think outside. There's no stopping the advancement of technology, and we've been reaping the rewards as riders on our snowmobiles for quite some time now. I mean, when you think about it, other than a greasy old triple or some other vintage ride, you never see a carburetor anymore. Today, EFI is the norm. Now, it might have been pushed a bit by regulatory boards like the EPA to improve emissions, but would you even want to go back to a gasoline toilet now? And think of the EFI tuning ability. On forced induction sleds, with a few keystrokes and a simple flash, huge gains can be had on performance and the way the sled responds to throttle inputs. Electronic controls are now going way beyond the engine to systems like the suspension. BRP has been a leader in this category with their Smart Shock technology, which first appeared on the latest version of the Mach-Z in 2022. Now, this was a single model year sled only, but the Smart Shock has since continued into other models in the BRP lineup. To help get a better understanding of this system, we hit the road to Accelerated Technology to visit with John Sherrard, a guru when it comes to snowmobile suspensions and setups, to learn more.
So the Smart Shocks, it's a brilliant system. The capabilities of it are pretty amazing. So what it's doing is it's giving the capability to basically adjust compression and rebound damping on the fly. But it's far more complicated than that. They have rotary sensors, so they know not only the position of the damper, but how fast it's moving, right? And then there's a rotary position telemetry basically on the rear arm and on the center arm. So on the whole snowmobile, they're monitoring it. And then they have certain criteria which they've used to set the compression and the rebound. And then on the dash of the machine, they have three modes, basically comfort, sport, and sport plus. So it gives the rider interface the ability to select three pre-programmed settings that the snowmobile will follow. In full comfort mode, the machine is supposed to be very soft, compliant, but has limitations as you try to drive it quicker, it's very sloppy. And then sport is to firm it up generally, and there's a few neat sub-channels in there doing some stuff, and then in Sport Plus it goes to its firmest strategy. The shocks internally are dampened on the strong side. They're very, very capable, so that when the snowmobile does go to full strong, when it selects that request from the ECU, the shocks are very strong. One quick example that perhaps a car might not ever do is when the snowmobile is in the air, it immediately puts them to a full firm situation because it knows the ground is coming, right, at some point. So when that sled lands, even if you're in comfort mode, it won't just crash to bottom. It'll absorb the landing. So it is next level in terms of smarts for a power sports vehicle. The other thing that the Smart Shocks is doing is, yes, it's got three criteria of adjustments, but it is also monitoring how quickly the damper is moving and then correcting. And we found some error in there from the designers too that we were able to make an improvement on, and we'll touch on that later. But for example, if it sees the rear skid cycling quickly, it can catch it and add compression damping at a high speed and prevent it from bottoming. So the theory is even in comfort mode, the machine has the capability of saying, ooh, yeah, it's giving you very soft suspension, but at some point we'll try to catch it and prevent it from bottoming. So in a nutshell, it's adjustable compression and rebound, but with feedback. And that's where we found some room for improvement.
There is no doubt that this technology is changing the game when it comes to what a snowmobile suspension can be. But what's really cool about this technology is what can be done with it, and how accelerated technology is improving even its performance. Coming up after the break, John walks us through the process of how he can tune the SmartShock system. This segment is brought to you by Polaris.
The shortfalls to the system that we found were basically in the calibration. When we found we had the ability, we partnered with Precision EFI out of Saint Eustache, Quebec. They gave us the ability to go inside the ECU and make some changes. They just didn't know what they would change. And we said, oh, great, we know what we would change, we just don't know how to do it. So it was a great marriage of technology. So we polled our customers on Facebook and we said, hey, what would you change if you could? You know, and boy, the feedback was almost resounding. So people thought comfort mode was too soft and Sport Plus mode was way too hard. So we thought, great, let's get in there if we can. And even if we just fixed that, and then people could find a mode that they liked. So that was our initial plan, and that's where our expertise took over because we could figure out why. Another thing that we were able to do was to do onboard data logging. Because the snowmobile has rotary position telemetry on the ski center and rear arms, we were able to tap into those and read them and then say, oh yeah, this is what's going on. One of the neat things that the rear was doing that we kind of found in error, we would put an O-ring or a zip tie on the rear shock shaft and it was super soft, but the R-Motion skid is a rising rate skid. So in the top of the travel, the shock is moving very slowly, right? So it's very comfortable because you're not getting a lot of damping resistance. But the closer you get to bottom, the rocker now accelerates the shock. And that gives you the anti-bottoming, the big window of comfort that the R-Motion is renowned for. But once SmartShocks were introduced in that we're now watching the velocity of the shock absorber, they were keeping it soft at slow speeds, but then they were increasing the damping as the speed accelerated. And that we found was a problem because as that rocker inside the link accelerated the shock, we found that the programmers had overcompensated and added too much damping. So in layman's terms, the suspension would blow down through the first 2/3 travel and then stop, you know, because the SmartShock says, hey, that's moving pretty quick, increase the damping, and the shock, yeah, at the same time the linkage was accelerating, they added damping and it stopped. And your ass went into the seat and then fired you out. And you're like, whoa, what's going on? And then you look under there, did it bottom? And it hydraulically bottomed, it didn't mechanically bottom. And every time that O-ring on that shock would end up at the same spot and it would never go past it. So one of the cool things, once we were able to put the laptop on the seat, write a fresh program, we were able to address the low speed. We could actually put some damping in so it didn't blow down so quick and then take a bunch of damping out of the high speed, and all of a sudden we got this beautiful linear suspension back that the R-Motion was known for. So that's just a few of the things that we were able to, through data logging, see and then be able to correct. And we kind of packed that into a flash that gives the rider the same 3 settings, but we find they're far more appropriate and we hope enjoyable for almost everyone. Still allowing the brilliance that it is to shine, if not more so, with a little bit of adjustability in there too.
John is one of the most detail-oriented, meticulous people that I know, and there's absolutely no surprise that he chose the challenge of tuning an electronic shock absorber. Now, if the improvements that he's made to this system are anything like everything else that comes out of accelerated technology, he's basically created a whole new ball game out of this game-changing SmartShock system. Coming up after the break, Clay and Clark from Bergstrom Skegs are in the STV shop talking carbides. Or are they Skaggs? Does it matter? I don't know. We'll figure it out. This segment is brought to you by Ultimax belts. So we're here with Clay and Clark from Bergstrom Skegs, and they've brought some of their fleet in to talk about carbides, or do you guys prefer Skegs?
It depends if you're north of the border or south of the border.
I suppose, right? So maybe start the conversation with your carbide specifically, the Bergstrom Skaggs product, because it's more than just a piece of steel with a chunk of carbide welded in it. So what makes your product a little different than some of the others that are out there?
So some of the immediate set-asides that kind of puts us out in our own world is we use a very different, more robust host bar to begin with. We also marry that up with a single point and a triple point. So really what puts us out in a world all to our own is the 3 separate pieces of carbide mounted to the single host bar.
Yeah.
And then the added components that come with it. Every set of bars that go out from us gets a ski saver, and it also gets shimmed. And you can shim conventionally, which is we've always done with the conventional shim kit, or now we're integrating pre-shimmed rubbers that are an add-on to the kit as well.
Okay, so let's start with the triple points. What's the advantage of going to a triple point carbide rather than the more traditional single point that's running right up the center of that host bar?
So in a straight line, it gives you 6 cutting surfaces. And depending upon which machine we're riding with, there's about a 12 to a 14 degree roll on those skis, be it that you keep your skis on the ground. So it always gives you 2 cutting surfaces on each ski, whether you're turning left or right on that roll. One in the center and one on the outside, one in the center and one on the inside.
Now let's just double back for a second on the good and ugly stuff. That is a more traditional wear bar, correct?
Absolutely. So same robust host bar. Same accessories go with it. It just comes with one single piece of carbide like you would see in a conventional setup versus the triple points is what we tend to move more of.
And I know there's no way to really say how long a set of carbides you're going to wear. If you're in perfect snow conditions all the time, every day for every mile on the trail, these things are going to last forever. But what typically out of a normal winter with a proper, more robust bar like you've got with Bergstrom's?
Average around 8,000 K to a set of bars. We have guys that can get considerably more than that, depending upon where they ride and how they ride. But we like to say somewhere between 7 and 8,000 K, be it that it's in conventional riding situations.
Yeah, now we've kind of gone through your product list so far, and we've got 3 of your sleds here that are all sort of outfitted with the Bergstrom products, but we've got 1 sled that we need to work on, which is a pretty spicy sled. So maybe let's regroup and we'll work on the 850R turbo competition. So it's got the boost juice in the back, and it's definitely going to need some grip up front. So
absolutely,
let's work on that next.
Okay. That's good.
Okay, so Clay, you're going to do the installation of the Bergstrom products, both the good and ugly, or are we going to put triple points on this turbo bar?
We're going to do both. We're going to run 8-inch triples down the middle, and we're going to look at doing a 4-inch good and ugly on the outside on this particular ski, which is the Pilot X ski.
Yeah.
We're going to couple that with the pre-shimmed rubber, which we'll get into once we start doing the install, and I'll show you how that goes in as well.
All right, well, let's go through it. So to install the outside carbide, the good and ugly, doesn't look like we do have to drill some holes, but all the provisions are there for it.
Pretty much, and one thing that I've noticed on the Pilot X that they've started to do here, they've actually put little kind of pilots,
little
so
dimple,
to speak, so that you know where to kind of sail that drill bit through. Yeah. Which we're going to do and put that 4-inch on the outside for this particular sled.
Nice. I was going to say I do have a hammer.
We use what we can use. That is our 8-inch triple point, and again we have our ski saver that we're going to put in there.
Yeah, so you can really see how that gets a little bit taller carbide profile.
Absolutely.
And that is going to wear away, which you expect it to wear away, but I'd rather have that little chunk of UHMW plastic going away than a $600 ski.
In that neighborhood, yeah.
Yeah.
It pretty much ruins your weekend pretty quick when you have to put a new ski on.
Yep.
Just making sure. That's the 8-inch in. And we'll go ahead and we'll drill the outside edge to put the 4-inch in.
Sounds good.
Make it a complete package. Well done.
It's awesome to drill holes in a sled that was worth over $30,000, even though it's just a ski.
Beauty.
Nice. The next step is the shims.
Correct. So we have two different types of shimming. This is your OEM rubber here. What we would normally do is we would offer our Gen 1 shimming, which is components made of the same plastic as your ski, which would fill in these back portions and make it level at the back. Normally what would happen is these plugs would pop into here, both of them, which would fill up those gaps and making that more of a flat surface.
Yeah, and more rigidity too. It's not as rubber to be able
Correct.
to compress.
Makes it a little bit more of a sturdy back end on it. On a Pilot X, when they redesigned the skis, these particular shims don't sit in there comfortably where they'll stay. They want to try and kind of slop around. So our way of fixing that is our pre-shimmed rubbers. And this is where we're moving into. We're slowly doing away with these and we want to move into these pre-shimmed. These are high impact polyurethane. They're good for upwards of 10,000 miles. It just pops in there.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
No, it's working right there.
Voila.
Just like that.
Simple, easy peasy. And again, it's hard to tell with this, but from the side profile, the ski that your hand's on right now is
Yeah, I mean,
on a downward angle, whereas this one is.
yeah, you can see it. The ski tip is probably with the sledge sort of in the air here and no weight on it. That ski tip's probably 3 or 4 inches higher than this one.
Correct. So, and the ski can still come up nicely,
Yeah.
but we just don't want it going down. Make sure everything is snug, tight, good to go before you hit the snow.
Drive it home. Coming up after the break, I'm hoping to get the drifter with no name outside the shop, in the snow, maybe drifting, or at least moving. This segment is brought to you by 509. Before the show ends, I'm hoping to get my first ride in on the drifter with no name. Still got some work to do, but before we get to all of that, wasn't long ago, my buddy the Turk stopped into the shop here to check on the progress that I was making.
It's a lot cleaner for sure. Wow,
It's not perfect.
that's a lot better.
It's not perfect yet. That's it. Don't worry about it. And
Good
then,
to have spare parts. If they're plastic, they don't have to be foam, but if they stay steel, you have to 8 inches, but you have to have foam around them and tape them.
okay,
So you've got one tank for lube and one for fuel then.
I'm a little worried because they are tanks from Amazon.
That's smart, putting that onto there.
Yeah,
Then you
so-
got something to anchor it to.
I
That's
may have
great.
over-engineered it a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's only got to work once. I bought new spark plugs and they're around somewhere. Where did I go with them? They're around in the shop
She won't
somewhere.
run without the sparkulators.
But studs might be another thing that's not just good, but good enough.
Good enough, yeah. Did you get a chance to take chain case part yet?
No, that's still a mystery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it might be dry inside. It's definitely going to be a lot safer on the track, and you're going to be able to handle it a lot better as well.
But yeah, no, I appreciate you coming out to the shop and having a look at the junk here and adding to my to-do list, which I'm going to have to make a bigger list because I'm running out of cardboard. I have no more room with all the things I have to do. But it's coming together and it's coming fast. So.
I think you've turned it from junk into a little gem there now, so a little bit more polishing there, and you'll be right there.
This
ready to
turd will
go.
be shining. All right.
Ready to go.
Yeah, perfect.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Well done.
After the Turk's visit, I'm glad he seems to think I'm on the right track. And speaking of tracks, after I finish a couple of jobs on the drifter here, I want to go outside on a little bit of snow that we got the other day and see if this thing will actually spin its track. Because right now, I don't even know if it'll move itself.
Everyone rejects me, even in my best dreams. And I've come to realize I can see it in your eyes. You're out to get me. Yeah, I know you're out to get me.
The drifter with no name still isn't quite done, but it's time to hit the snow. I'm pretty sure it'll move, but I don't think I'll be describing its pace as speedy or swift or fast or quick. Maybe it'll hit brisk, possibly. Anyways, it's time to find out.
Oh yeah, race machine. I'm just gonna go nice and gentle. The free air, I mean, it could be tender, and I want to get some heat into it before I start going wide open. So just, some slow circular passes here. But I mean, it's moving pretty good. I'm sort of impressed. Honestly, it's doing exactly what I was hoping to. And armor rolling the seat, you can move around easy on it. I'm digging the handlebars. I wasn't sure if they were going to work as good as they are. I mean, way better. But yeah, no, this thing is moving. But it's not fast. There is no way this thing is fast because I'm wide open doing circles and yeah, it's not quick. All right, here we come around to corner 4. Coming up on the front straightaway of my makeshift oval, and the brakes work, and that is a success. Made it out of the shop. This thing is the first time under its own power here in the backyard, and I mean, I did a full feature there, I'm sure of it. And it's still running and it's still moving, so that is a success. Plus, I even came up with a new nickname, Snot a Rocket. I think it's perfect. Anyways, we'll have more on this machine on a future episode of Snowmobiler Television.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Scott Snowmobile Goggles. STV has been brought to you by Best Western Hotels and Resorts. Wherever life takes you, Best Western is there. Ultimax Belts, performance driven, performance proven. And by Ford F-Series, Canada's best-selling line of pickup trucks for 58 years. Hi, thanks for watching Snowmobiler Television. If you enjoy the show, please hit that like and subscribe button.